Hello, and thanks for listening. This is basically a personal project I want to start launching in order to document my time living in a country that I am semi familiar with, but not when it comes to living completely on my own. That country is Hungary, in Budapest, the capital. This is also a personal project of accountability, honesty, and personal self discipline to be able to explain myself and put my feelings out there in a way that I can reflect on and keep for as however long I feel like keeping the videos. I don't know what this is going to result in. Hopefully, a new sense of personal understanding as I talk with myself to just understand where I'm coming from, why I feel the way I feel, and maybe find some personal insight instead of just journaling. I also really want to get much better at articulating how I feel, but also improve my speaking skills, fluid, the flow of language, and not to use filler words when I talk and like or I really want to be able to master the power of silence, the power of fluid thought, and just the power of picking words carefully. That being said, living in Budapest, Hungary since August 31st, 2022. Today's current date is the first. I'm sorry. I am such. I. This is exactly why I need to practice this. I'm looking at the date and I'm having a dyslexic moment. It is not the first of anything. It is January 22nd, 2023. So September, October, November, December. Now we're coming up at the end of January. That's 5 months. September, October, November, December, coming up on the end of January. And from initially launching this journey, I thought this was going to be much easier than I was expecting. And quite honestly, towards the end of the last couple of months, I've been having a really difficult time in being honest with myself, being honest with people in my network, being reliable, being timely, and being disciplined. Working in Jersey City for like the past 2 years, from 2020 to into the summer of 2022, where I knew this opportunity to come to Hungary and study at Corvinus University of Budapest to get my MBA. The structure I had at that time was really helping me to just stay comfortable. That's really what the word is, to stay comfortable. I was working 9 to 5 in an industry, specifically real estate, where I pretty much knew all the ins and outs and I could easily figure problems out. I wasn't making a ton of money to be rich, but I was really getting a lot of managerial skills in a level that I have never had at that time. So I'm really thankful to God and just life and my employer for giving me that opportunity out there. But working 9 to 5 in Jersey City with an apartment that I split with my brother was simple. I was meeting multiple times a week with a network of people interested in self development and just living a spiritual life. I was working a consistent 9 to 5. My sleep schedule was on point. On the weekends, I was consistently going home to visit my family in my pretty much my childhood home, I would say. I don't need to go into specific details of where that would be. Not that 1,010,000 people are listening to this particular journal entry, I'll call it. But I never have found myself so disconnected with everything that I've ever known in terms of what I personally like to do outdoors, personal relationships with family, friends I knew, neighborhoods I knew, ways of entertaining myself that I was comfortable with, a consistent schedule, and I was living very comfortable at that time. However, through that, how would I even call it? Through that discipline, through that structure, through that ability just to plan things out and easily know what to expect the next day, I made the time to apply for a scholarship here in Hungary, and I got it. A full ride scholarship thanks to my Hungarian roots and management experience, professionalism, sobriety. And I thought that this opportunity was simply going to be an opportunity. And quite honestly, I did not expect it to be as challenging as it was. Almost immediately in this new country of Hungary, where I've visited multiple times, however, never on my own, and never in a semi-isolated living situation where, yes, there's a lot of people around, and I know at this point I know people, and there's always been phone numbers I could have called, but realistically, once I would get into my studio apartment where I live completely alone and don't really go out once I come into the place, which has been a problem, I had no idea how quickly the quote unquote discipline I had before came apart so quickly. And that caused a lot of problems for me. I was no longer walking in the woods, maybe looking for some shedded deer antlers. I was no longer visiting the lake to go fishing. I was never looking for animals and just trying to observe some wildlife. I wasn't going to the gym anymore. I don't have a gym membership out here, though there are plenty of ways to work out and exercise without them. There's even pretty impressive parks that I could do that at. I didn't bring any books with me, so I wasn't reading anything. I wasn't reaching out to my past network, which was also a big mistake. And I really let isolation take hold of me. And I unfortunately had the state of mind and the opinion that mental health was kind of just a joke, that you are as happy as you want to be, and if you're not happy, then it's nobody's fault but you. And if you're feeling crappy, it's your own fault if you don't go outside and go for a walk or find a hobby or do something like that. And for the first time in my life here in Hungary, removed from everything that I'm familiar with, and just facing a new opportunity, which actually is a challenge as well. Every opportunity is a challenge and it's a blessing. And today I feel, the fact that I even decided to do this in the first place says a lot. I've been thinking about creating some personal journals and testing my speaking skills and kind of trying to practice opening up about where I'm at mentally. But I am shocked at how quickly my mental health went to just complete crap. There was days where I didn't want to get up. Sometimes I didn't even get up. There was days where I just laid in my bed all day until I just was just too hungry to not get up, or just to go drink some water or use the bathroom. And there was never a time in my life where that was the case. And trust me, I've made mistakes in my life before, and there were times where, I had made some significant mistakes, and maybe I was getting the process of, punished or disciplined at school or with parents or anything like that. But even then, I always would, okay, I'll just go outside, I'll do something outside. Oh, I'll go do some chores. I'll talk to my parents. I will read a book. I will go for a walk. I'll just sit outside and watch the critters running around in the backyard. I'll talk to my brothers. I'll do something. There was always something comfortable and familiar that I was able to do that coming to Hungary has really reminded me how sensitive and comfortable I was in the environment I was existing in pretty much my whole life in the States. So as I started to feel these things, I almost just spiraled to a point where I just was depressed for days at a time. It affected my school performance, it affected personal relationships, it affected social standing, I would consider. Gave me a lot more things and anxiety to deal with, and that anxiety of of just not getting things done because of my mental state increased my problem, increased my depression, and I had never felt like that in my entire life. That being said, it's 7 in the morning here, just about 7, 2 minutes to 7 in the morning here in Hungary. We're a 6 hour ahead of the United States. So it would be 1 a.m. back in the States. And I just thank God that I was at a point at 5:30 in the morning where, okay, I can't sleep. I've been really thinking about trying to open up my mind and my mouth to hear myself talk sometimes. Because as silly as it sounds, there would be days where I wouldn't I would put my head down at night and not even realize that I had not said a single word, and just to say a prayer out loud to thank you God for this day, despite how the day actually was turning out, I'll tell you quite honestly. Just to hear my voice just was weird at the end of the day because I had realized I hadn't said anything. And from a personal productivity standpoint, I was just consuming content on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, just consuming and consuming and consuming it while just tucked up in my dark apartment because I don't turn on the lights much unless I'm in a particular room or whatever the case may be, but just consuming content when I really have a desire to create things, whether it's creating a budget or creating a calendar or creating a video podcast or just a podcast or just record something or write something or design a mural in my house or hang up pictures. I really have that desire to create, and just sitting in a silent apartment by myself, just consuming other people. And as we all know, it's hard on YouTube and the other social media things to just consume specifically the content you want. So there was a lot of times where I'm filling my brain for 5, 6 hours just laying there. And obviously that contributed to a problem too. But I had the privilege and the blessing of being able to spend my Christmas and New Year's back in the States with my family. And I'm so happy about that. And I really did again realize that, oh, it's a comfort thing that I have there, that yes, I like to do all these things, and it's very fun and it's comfortable, and I really do enjoy it. Like I looking at critters, going for walks in the morning, going for walks at night, going for bike rides, meeting up with my groups of spiritual people, cooking with my family, having those daily interactions on a moment to moment basis, cleaning up my room, vacuum cleaning the house, playing with our pet bunny, chopping wood outside, making fires. Of course, again, this is the winter in the east coast of the States. So, I did a lot of those winter things. And I even went skiing with a friend, and that was amazing. And it was all kind of a reminder that, yes, I like to do those things, but the honest to God truth is that I haven't adapted to this life out here yet. So part of this podcast is to remind myself that I'm in the opening stage of really taking living here seriously. My program is going to be for another year and a half at this point. We're going into the second semester. I semi-scraped through the first one. There's still even some things in the air, if I have to be perfectly honest with myself, that I am not proud of how I handled. And I am going to have to handle it. That's it. But again, this is just the opening statement as to I need to figure out how to adapt here and get comfortable here. I don't want to be that person if you take fishing away from me, or if you take walking, if you take looking for deer sheds out of the woods, for if you take that away from me, that I'm going to be depressed, or oh, if I can't chop wood, I'm going to be depressed. I don't want to be that person. I know God created me and you and all of us to be adaptable people, and he gave me the blessing and the opportunity to take this leap of faith, and I'm here and I took it, and I'm getting emotional just saying it because I know it's a blessing. But the thing is, it's been really hard. However, this is the focal point. This could be the turning point if I really stick to what I'm saying and if I'm being honest with myself and I'm willing to do the work to find a place to work out, to find a place to go and walk, to find things to do here, to start to create other things, to make connections, to reconnect into that spiritual group of people that I had in the United States, and to start living the life that I know I can accomplish here. One of the beautiful things about what's going on in my life right now is that the semester has quote unquote officially wrapped up as of the pretty much this week on the 20th. And I have a whole month until February 20th where we start back up the classes again, and I'll be together with my classmates. And originally we started the year in our first semester with like 10 or 11 classes, which I had never done in my life. And I have to be completely honest with myself that I got overwhelmed by, and also to a level depressed by, subconsciously, because some of the things I was doing was I didn't really find that important or that useful. But you know, when you're at work and you're making money, and then let's say you're saving for retirement, you're using it for fun, you're allocating expenses. I enjoyed that. I really did, even though realistically, in my opinion, I don't want to just work in a rat race and do that for the rest of my life. But it's easy to point at, this is where my efforts are doing, and this is what I'm accomplishing. So again, and working really gives that a simple sense of that. So it's now being in a situation where I'm relying on savings, I'm relying on my family, I'm relying on the promise of the future, I'm relying on God that this opportunity was designed to mold me into something better than I am today, and not having that instant gratification of, here's that paycheck, 40% of it's going to retirement, 10% of it I'm saving, 20% of it I'm spending for fun, and the rest is for daily expenses or rent or whatever. And I just really think that had I not taken this opportunity, it would have just been more of the same. But the truth of the matter is that this has been taking a toll on me, and I haven't adapted yet. And it's been, like I said, 5 months. It's been 5 months and I haven't fully adapted. I'm going to be honest, it's not that I haven't fully adapted, I've barely adapted. I need to honestly just listen to myself say, I have barely adapted to living in Budapest, Hungary since I have got here. And I've been doing a lot of the wrong stuff, which haven't been good for my health, which haven't been good for my mental health, which haven't been good for my finances, which haven't been good for a lot of aspects of my life. My spiritual life has been extremely weak as well. One of the first books I brought back with me from the States after I left was the Bible, and a couple of other ones that are important, but I just choose to keep that to myself at this point. But I just am so happy that I'm in a state right now where at 5:30 I can't sleep. Guess what? I'm going to go sit down and finally get started on something that I've been saying I was going to do for years. And it's not for the purposes of getting 1 million followers or getting this isn't Twitter, but I almost said retweeted, or getting this post shared, though I would like to connect with people over this. That's the whole point of making this available and putting my feelings out there, is just that I know I'm not alone, and I really wish I would have leveraged my classmates more while I was going through those problems, because I'm sure that I wasn't the only one dealing with these kinds of feelings. And quite honestly, I've already gotten some positive feedback from a handful of them, and I really have a great, amazing group of people that I'm with. But this month, from January 20th to February 20th, is the month I have the whole time off. I have that entire time off until school starts. I don't, I'm in a position where I'm very fortunate that I don't need to work right now for income, but for sure I have so many other things to work on. My mental health, my physical health, my spiritual health, my financial health, my willingness to discipline myself. Disciplinary power is what I need and what I need to practice. When this new semester starts, I want to walk in and feel like a new person, and I want to see the look in my classmates' eyes when they look at me like, "Wow, you something about you has changed." I don't know what it is, and all I will have to say is just watch, just watch. A lot has changed, and I want to give that credit to God and myself and my family for supporting me, and all of you if you're listening up to this point, and especially God. I feel I'm in the point of a turning point, really. So I plan on doing this more and more frequently. This is Ference. Thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your day. I'd love to hear any comments, questions, anything. Take care.